The WNBA after this season will be losing two iconic legends in Sue Bird and Sylvia Fowles. They both will be riding off into the sunset, ending their illustrious careers after a combined 33 years of excellence. And following them out the door is Liz Cambage, who, unlike them, isn't leaving under retirement terms, but simply to step away for the time being. Now, it's unknown if she's taking personal time to find her next WNBA franchise to fall out with, or is she heading to join the Nigerian women's hoops team to ensure that those players she allegedly called monkeys went back to their third world country, as she stated during the Tokyo Olympics. Who knows? And who the cares? It's the WNBA Finals, baby. More than undefeatable.
You are tuned into Hot Take Season, where these hot takes are rated E for everyone.
A rotational quarterback. Like, that's going to be a while. I think they'll go to the
Hot Take Season. Hot Take Season. Hot Take Season.
What up, what up? Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Hot Take Season, where these hot takes are rated E for everybody. I'm your host, Mia Me, the homie Pop, checking in to co-host this segment with me. Pop, how are you?
What's up, bro? How you doing? I'm good. Blessed and highly favored.
That's what's up. That's what's up. No Duce endorsements for this one.
Well, Duce know what it is, man. They gotta come. They gotta come to the table, and hopefully we'll still have a spot for them.
Right. I feel you. So a special guest for this segment is a Spot on Sports sister of mine. It's always been a pleasure to work with her and talk sports with her. She's also a producer over at ESPN. Miss Chanel Starling, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's definitely an honor. Mia, whenever you call, the answer is yes. So super excited to be on here with you guys today.
I appreciate it. So we're getting into some WNBA finals talk for this segment. We got the Aces of Las Vegas facing off with the Connecticut Sun. And right now it's looking in favor of the Aces. Chanel, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, it's giving sweep. Honestly, I mean, we knew this coming in. Like once the sky fell to the Sun, I knew that it was going to be the Aces. I wasn't really expecting a sweep. I mean, a sweep didn't happen yet, but that's what it's looking like. It's going going towards. But this Aces team is just loaded. They have Asia Wilson, who is incredible. She gets better every year. Chelsea Gray, point guard, yes. Chelsea Gray, facts. Yeah. Chelsea Gray, she's incredible. She doesn't get enough credit in my eyes. But this Aces team is just hard. It's hard to beat them. But super proud of the Connecticut Sun. I'm talking like they already lost, but I'm just saying you can tell how it's going. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this Connecticut Sun team wasn't even supposed to make it this far.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're competing. They're not getting blown out. They're competing. Jasmine Thomas went down in the beginning of the season. A lot of stuff happening to Connecticut Sun. So, I mean, it's impressive that they're in the finals and they're playing. They're playing hard, but the Aces are just better.
Yeah, I feel that. Pop, did you have something you wanted to add to that?
No, she said it all. 20 and 10 MVP. Asia Wilson is definitely holding it down and definitely playing a flag,
Yeah, so I think the consensus here is that we all agree that Asia should have been, MVP going into this season. I want to take it back a little bit. So we had some veterans retiring this season, Sue Bird and Sylvia Fowles. Chanel, any takes on your feelings with that?
Yeah, we're just getting to an age where our sports heroes are starting to retire. Our parents were they were going through this with Michael Jordan and all these other players, and now it's kind of our time because I've watched Sylvia Fowles since she was at LSU. I used to watch her and Candace Parker go at it. So just seeing what she has done for the game and how she actually both of them, Sue Bird and Sylvia Fowles, still playing at a high level and retiring. They can play another year if they wanted to.
Yeah.
And still be very, very good. But just all they've done for basketball as a whole, college. I'm from Connecticut, so
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Sue Bird, she was like, one of my idols growing up. UConn, her, Diane Taurasi. So just seeing, players like that leave, it's sad, but I'm happy for them because there's more life other than basketball.
Right.
So I'm super happy. I'm sad as a fan, but I'm excited for because this is not the end of them. Like we are going to see them, whether it's in the booth. Sue Bird looks like she's taking that route. And then even like Sylvia Fowles doing whatever, she's gonna do after basketball. So I'm just like grateful that I was able to watch them.
Yeah, I feel you on that.
Go ahead, Pop. I think as the game expands, so will opportunities for for our heroes, like for the greats that are leaving the game.
Yeah, I think Sue probably will take that broadcast approach, and it'll really be good to see her stick around the sport in that way. Because I think she does have a lot of insight to offer on the game for the fans that are watching, and trying to get into the WNBA. And then I believe Sylvia is going to be a mortician, which is, I never would have guessed that. I never would have saw it coming, but I don't know her at the same time. But I think that's a really good field, you know what I mean? To get in, business is always booming in that sense.
Yeah.
Well, leaving on a less honorable note, I should probably say, is Liz Cambage, who is stepping away from the WNBA for some time. Now, in my opinion, I'm wondering if this had to do with, her comments over in the playing overseas. If it had to do with that, and maybe the Sparks locker room just couldn't, come to grips with it. But looking back over Liz's career, and I didn't notice this until here recently, but Liz was kind of a team hopper in that sense. You know what I mean? And it was
from the very start.
Yeah.
She played for the Aces, but you'll see that in the league. Like it seems like it's with branding and stuff like that. She's going where the spotlight is, and that's kind of why she went to LA to get a bigger profile.
Yeah, but I feel like she ruined it in that sense, though.
The lights got bright, and she didn't. She went the other way.
It's unfortunate.
But even for I think Liz Cambage is amazing. She's great for the game.
Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes you do have to step away, and this is even like Mia. You said it, like even when she came out in 2011. It was like some stuff there with the Shock, which now was Dallas Wings, but there was still some history there. She stopped playing, I think, after like a year, and then came back like 5 years later. And then she plays for the Aces.
She was with Dallas in 2018, and that's what caught me off guard, is because I've had the chance to like interact with her just a little bit with working with Dallas, and I would have never guessed those comments would have came from her. You know what I mean?
She denied them, right?
I'm sorry?
She denied those comments, right? Were they verified?
She said something to the fact of that wasn't what she said or what she intended to say.
Oh, because I know she's from Australia, and Australia has a terrible history with racism, and she kind of highlighted that. If you look up, she's been an advocate for people like us, people of color. So those remarks she was accused of very insensitive.
Right.
I don't know, maybe if it was in a heated competition, because I'm pretty sure if we mic up most leagues, a lot of things get said that are harsh. But that just seems like it doesn't fit her off the court personality.
It doesn't, and that's why it caught me off guard, and I was like, Liz said that, but at the same time, I can't say that she didn't say it. I wasn't there, I don't know, but
right, you never know. And then even as far as like the basketball point of it, her leaving, I had to think of it like this. Okay, she goes to the Aces, right? They get so close, like every year they're in contention, but it just doesn't work. She goes to the Sparks, and they are terrible. Like, I mean, they just look ridiculously bad this year. And then at the same time, all the stuff going on with the WNBA, as far as like finances and them going and sharing hotel rooms and riding buses and not being able to fly, like all of that is taken into account. Like there might come a point where you're like, is it worth it? Like
right.
all this stress, all this I'm doing, and I'm, she even made comments about, what coaches are making compared to like the best player in the WNBA. So all of that stuff, like it goes into account where you're just like, all right, I got to take a step back. I got to put me first. And I feel like that has like a bunch to do with it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the WNBA is definitely looked at in comparison to the Olympics, like almost like a minor league, like on a national level. Like, hey, we do more overseas. And her being an Olympic player and having that spotlight, she might feel like, all the scrutiny and things she goes through in the WNBA might not be worth it. I could definitely see that because it's still a growing league.
Right.
It's still in its infant stages. Should it be further? Who knows? Will it grow? I definitely believe. I think in 10 years it'll be light years from where it is right now because it's picking up steam right now, and it's always been quality basketball. So that's what you can hang your hat on.
Right.
Got to find the right people to put in those executive spots that market, and you need a player like Liz Cambridge. She has personality. She's somebody. Like the biggest thing is recognizing people outside of their jerseys, and she's one of those people that you can say, "Oh, I know her from somewhere," and then you're like, "Oh, that's right, she plays for this team." That's what you need in the league, gives you visibility around us, especially since she's not American born; she's from Australia.
Yeah, I hope that in this time away, she has some time to reflect and figure out what she needs to do differently to come back. Because somebody of
though, right? Because it's a dual scale. Like,
well, and I say that because, like I'm saying, she team topped a lot within the WNBA to where like her wanting to leave Dallas kind of came out of left field for them. And then she goes to the Aces, and I don't think she played too much with them, but then she has to leave them. And then you get to the Sparks, and you just abruptly leave the Sparks in the middle of the season. Yeah. So that's what I mean. Like, it's like, what's going on to where you can't get anything going with one particular team?
But I think so. We could look at it two ways. We could look at it her being a common denominator, or we could look at like there's something going on in the league. I mean, the treatment of the players, and some people are more vocal than others. Some people just, they have that that worker mentality where they just hang their head and do their job, and then some people are not going for it. They're not going to. They want to be treated a certain way. They set levels of standards, and then she has something like as a coach. She has something we say you can't. She has the height. She has the basketball body.
Right.
Like you can't teach that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah, she's a dog. Like
she puts it in. So
yes,
she might want to be treated like she might want to be treated like hey, I am a star in this league. I do help the brand of this league. I do make sacrifices to this league. Treat me like that, and the league might not be there because it seems like I don't understand the WNBA, honestly. I don't understand why it's not further. I don't understand how it hasn't grown past where it's at right now. They've had stars for a long time. Name like we were talking when we started off this segment. We were talking about players that we grew up watching, and now they're at the other side of their career. And you could all name players, and it seems like the NBA knew how to capitalize off the players, and the WNBA might have chose not to. I don't know.
Yeah, I definitely think marketing aspects could have been a little bit better to help the brand in that sense. But Chanel, you said something earlier about the Aces, just trying to get over the hump and get some consistency going. And so they brought in Becky Hammon, who was once coaching with the San Antonio Spurs.
She was supposed to be the first head coach. Let's talk about that.
Yeah.
First woman head coach in the league, and that never panned out.
Never panned out, but now here she is coaching in the WNBA finals. So kudos to Becky Hammon on that.
In the finals.
She's about to win a ring. Like it's crazy to, and like we're gonna keep saying this when we're talking about the WNBA. Like this, what she is doing is not getting talked about enough. I mean, she first of all, she played in WNBA for 15 years, 15 seasons. She goes to the NBA as an assistant. She becomes the first like active woman coach, because I think Pop got ejected.
Yeah, she coached the game. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
She goes out for the head coaching job, which she should have gotten, and we know why she didn't.
Right.
And then she goes to an Aces team that has a lot. Although they have good players, you have to be a good coach in order to manage good players like that.
Right.
They had the pieces. She put the puzzle together. I agree.
Right. And it's been year after year. We've been watching the Aces like, oh, they can't get past the Storm, or they can't get past the Sky, or whoever it may be. And she comes in her first year. A'ja Wilson gets MVP. And they go to the finals and they're about to win it. They can sweep tonight. It's incredible what she's doing. She won Coach of the Year. And it's just not getting talked about enough. But that's basically what the pattern is when you're talking about the WNBA.
Yeah, I think the Aces,
because it's the WNBA, it's not really looked at as a larger scale. But it's hard to do what she did this year.
Yeah, it is. And I just think for her to be able to coach on both sides of it, that just shows how great of a coach she is. Because
she coaches like when her team is not she's like in their faces. She's coaching. Like I don't care if you're MVP. I don't care if you've been in the league for this long. Like y'all are playing trash. Like, like she gets in their faces, and like she's incredible.
Yeah. Kudos to Becky. Go ahead, Pop.
I said she sets the tone. A lot of times it starts at the coach. It starts with the coach. I was talking about this with somebody else. Remember the Lakers? They had the pieces. They couldn't together. They bring in Phil Jackson. They start winning, and that's kind of like Becky Hammond. She's putting it together. It starts with her. She sets the tempo. She sets the expectations, and she's getting the best from the players.
Yeah.
I mean, good positions to succeed.
Yeah. So, Chanel, did you see this being the finals matchup coming into this season?
Coming into the season, I knew the Aces were going to get there, just because every year, like this is the reason why she got MVP. A'ja Wilson gets better every year. I think she was tired of, coming up short, and I could tell that this year was going to be her year. So I actually had Aces and Sky.
Okay.
I thought that the Sky, I thought they were going to repeat, honestly, just because of the story behind it. But once we started getting more into the season, I was like, oh, the Aces are going to win this. Like, it doesn't matter who you put in front of the Aces, they're going to win this. So by like mid-season, I figured that the Aces were going to be the champions by the end of the season.
Yeah, I feel like they just have been that dominant team that you've seen throughout, the most consistent and most dominant in that sense. And I could have seen the Sky getting back to it, but I think the results of it would have been the Aces with the overall victory.
They're just so well-rounded. Like, from what we were just talking about, Becky Hammond, like from coaching to players, they're just so well-rounded.
It just fits. And when you have somebody like Chelsea Gray who can run the court and score the way that she does, and you have the
zone right now.
Yeah, she's in the zone.
Yeah, she's in the zone right now, and I hope it continues tonight. I would like to see them host a trophy.
Yeah. So, but yeah, when Chelsea's on and A'ja is shooting from the field like she is and can dominate in the paint the way that she does, and you have others like, and you got others like
21 and 11 is crazy.
Yeah. And that's big for this league, I feel like.
That's big. Any league. That's
well, yeah. But I mean, you can go and get 20 in the NBA, and there's so many others who are getting that as well, that it's more of a conversation
20
versus
and 10,
now you're just dominant.
Shaq says, 20 and 10, you're saying something.
Yeah.
Your game is definitely doing some talking. 20 and 10, that's hard because you're fighting on both ends of the court. You know, that shows your production. That shows you're locked in.
Mhm.
And your point guard is averaging 23 and 7.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, and I think the thing that makes, like, I try to wrap my head around, like, for some reason, Asia and Liz Cambage, they didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not in a, like, not saying like they didn't like each other, but both of them, I feel like when Liz Cambage was on the floor with Asia, like, it just didn't work. And it's so crazy to see you bring in someone like Chelsea Gray.
Mm-hmm.
I know completely different positions, but you bring in someone like Chelsea Gray, and she complements that team in Asia so well. It's like, it's incredible to watch. Like,
Yeah.
no one fights for like the points. Like, no one, they just work.
Mm-hmm. They like a well-oiled machine, you know?
Yeah.
Yep, it's that cohesion. So before we get out of here, Chanel, we're gonna play a game that we're gonna start playing with our guests of the show. So start, cut, and bench.
Whew, okay, this is scary.
I just want to listen
Okay.
to know that we played this, me and Mia, beforehand, and Mia is cruel. Mia is cruel. I'll just say that.
It's hard. It's hard. I had to make it hard though, because I feel that makes it fun.
You made the executive decisions.
Yeah. Well, I consulted with you, Pop, and you was like, but you didn't
I
give me
couldn't
nobody else to plug in, so
I couldn't make the choices you made. I couldn't.
All right, Chanel. So for this first one, we've got Lisa Leslie, Cheryl Swoops, and Don Staley.
Oh, respectfully, anytime somebody say respectfully, you know it's about to be disrespectful. Okay. I'm okay. I am starting Cheryl Swoops.
Mm-hmm.
I'm benching Lisa Leslie, and I'm cutting Dawn Staley.
I don't disagree with that. It's hard, but I don't disagree with that.
How you gonna
Cheryl Swoops is ridiculous. She's wild.
Yeah.
She was
how you
wild.
gonna bench Lisa Leslie though? Like that domination, like she put the work in, and Cheryl Swoops played with the other greats too. You know, like she had it. The comments were great, but they weren't like, oh, Lisa Leslie was on her own out there for a little while, man. I don't know.
That's true. I mean, like, that's so true. That's why I'm like, no, like Cheryl Swoops, she's in the GOAT discussion, definitely.
Oh, for sure. Swoops could go. She could go. So yeah, I don't disagree with that. So for the second one, we got Lena Del Don, Sylvia Fowles, and Candace Parker.
Okay, wow. So this one wasn't hard for me at all.
Okay.
Wow.
Just because I'm being a little biased.
Okay.
Candace Parker is my favorite basketball player of all time. So
you said Candace Parker. Okay.
Yeah. So definitely starting her. And then I just can't cut Sylvia Fowles.
Oh, okay. You had me worried. I was going to say, come on now.
No. Can't cut Sylvia Fowles. So starting Candace Parker, benching Sylvia Fowles, and then Della Don, she has to get cut.
Yeah.
I love her though. She's a beast.
Yeah, she is. She is. But Sylvia, I'll say it this way. If you're a fan of the WNBA, then you know what Sylvia Fowles brought to the WNBA. Right. And I don't think her accolades get talked about enough.
No. One of the best centers to ever play this game.
Yes. And she doesn't get the recognition she deserves.
I think it's because she's just not like, she's not flashy.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, she just goes in, she plays hard, and then she leaves. You know what I mean? Like, she doesn't need she doesn't need the spotlight.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's where
we were talking about earlier with Liz, like how you do need that to build a game, though. We don't need a quiet 50. We need somebody the crowd's going to get behind, the jersey's going to sell. You know what I mean?
But that's true.
Yeah. Okay, so the third one we've got. I tried to bring it back around to who's playing now.
This one's hard.
So we got Asia Wilson, MVP now. Last year's MVP, Jonquel Jones, and Nneka Ogwumike.
Okay. Just give me like 2 seconds. So I know who I'm going to start. Obviously, I'm going to start Asia.
Okay.
Okay. I'm trying to this one is hard.
It took me all of 3 seconds to know her answer. Me and Cutthroat.
Did it really? She was that quick?
Yeah, man. It was. I told her how hard it was, and she was like, "No, it's not. It's just simple."
Okay. Okay. I'm starting Asia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm benching Nneka.
Okay.
And I'm cutting Jonquel Jones.
Oh, okay.
I know that. Oh, you didn't have that, Mia. I can tell by your reaction.
Well, I started Asia and benched Jonquel, and then I cut Nneka. I did.
I was close to it, but that one is hard.
That one's a tough one. That's a tough one. But in favor of Asia, I will say this. Here in this season, Jonquel has been getting kind of outplayed by Asia.
Yeah. I mean, because Asia's just respectfully, she's just better.
Yeah.
Like it's just that simple. Like the better team, like I was saying earlier, the better team, the better player is going to win.
So for this last one, we've got Sue Bird, Diana Taurasi, and Lindsay Whalen.
Oh, not even hard at all. Starting Diana Taurasi, benching Sue Bird, cutting Lindsay Whalen.
Oh man, Lindsay was one of the GOATs though.
I know. I'm sorry, but respectfully, like nobody's coming before Diana Taurasi.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
I just couldn't do it. And then Sue Bird, like you already heard where I'm from. Like I can't.
I feel you. Okay, so one last question. Who would you start your franchise with from the 90s or 2000s era?
I would say I think it would have to be Tamika Catchings.
I like that.
I don't think her name always comes up, but I don't think people like really appreciate like who she was as a player. Like she was literally like one of the most like complete basketball players. Like literally did everything. She was, and I looked this up. She was she's still the only player in the league to ever finish a season in the top 10 in rebounds, points, assists, steals, and blocks. And she did it twice.
Crazy.
Like that's crazy.
Ball so hard.
So yeah, I think she would be someone I would start. I would start a franchise with, definitely. And I was a Tennessee like crazy person because of like Candace Parker. So once I got more into like women's college basketball, like of course I like had to go back like, oh, like who are the greats to come out of Tennessee? And so then I started like paying more attention to like Tamika Catchings, like as far as like league wise. But yeah, I think that's what
I like that pick. What about you, Pop?
Teaspoon. With the Liberty, she's always one of my favorites. She bought what you can't teach. You know, she bought that heart, that grit, and she competed every night. And I think you need that in your locker room. I think that's like a foundational piece.
Yeah.
Because that's one of the things, and you said it earlier. That's one of the things like that's like you can't teach or coach. And I feel like that's what a lot of like teams in a lot of sports are missing. Like people can be good, but you can't teach somebody how to like.
It's a famous coach, and he said, I'd rather heart over talent any day. He said, you give me, I'd rather full of heart. He said, we might not have the most talent, but I'm going to get them somewhere because they're not going to back down. And, sports is a lot of how you deal with adversity.
Right.
So teaspoon will be my piece to start.
I like it. I think for mine, I might have to go with Swoops on that one too.
These are good ones.
Yeah. Yeah, I had to go with Swoops.
These are amazing answers. Yes, these are like goats for real.
Yeah. And that's the thing about it. The W does have its legends. You know what I mean? It has its legends. Well, Chanel, thank you for joining the show. We have enjoyed you. Any other hot takes for us before we go?
Let me think. I don't know. Candace Parker is the greatest basketball player of all time. No, congratulations to the Aces. They're definitely gonna pull the sweep today. So
yeah.
I want to say that Connecticut has a game in them, but Aces are smelling blood. They're too close.
They're too close.
Asia Wilson is too close.
And I knew something was up when they stole that game in Connecticut. So when I stole it, but when they won that one, I was like, yeah, it could go that way.
I think the speech Pop gave in a locker room when he congratulated them, and then he reminded Becky, like, what's the sweetest win on the road? And you could look in their eyes, like they bought into it, like, because the road is kind of tough to win on the road, but so good when you do it, and you could see it in their eyes light up, like, yeah, we got this. I think they on tonight. Somebody did say, I'm not no names. They did say the league might push it to Sunday so it can get 4.
Are you saying it's rigged?
See, I was hoping I didn't have to say that, but I don't think the WNBA. I don't think any league is going to play like that again after the Donahue thing.
Yeah.
I think that's behind us, but who knows?
Who knows? We'll see. But I'm picking the Aces to go ahead and finish them off, and go out that way. Pop, you got any hot takes before we go?
We mentioned Tamika Catchings, a great career, and her nephew's about to play for Purdue. I had looked earlier, and I just wanted to shout him out. I think that's pretty dope. And I didn't know her brother. I didn't know that her family was big in basketball like that. And other than that, I can't wait for tonight for Miss Wilson to hold that trophy up. I hope she gets the Finals MVP as well.
She should. Her or Chelsea.
I was gonna say her. I feel like tonight, whoever has the most, because Chelsea's been crazy. But I feel like tonight's a big game. Oh, obviously it's big, but I feel like as far as MVP, Finals MVP.
Yeah. Maybe they have to do a co-winner type.
Oh, that would be cute.
Yeah. I mean, they've both been playing hard enough for it, So
I always wonder how players felt about that. The like sharing the award. I always felt.
I'm sure that's a tough feeling there.
Yeah. Because it's a team sport. You did your thing, but that's an individual award. So I always wondered how players felt about that.
How do you think you would feel with that, though?
Me being who I am, like, because I'm gonna be funny. I'm gonna be funny about it at the presentation. Like, yo, we getting 2 trophies, right? Like,
right.
We're not gonna have to. We keep it down. It's both out, but we keep
summer. You get it, fall.
You know what I mean? I would say something like that, but I would be okay with it because that's who I am as a person. I'm not all about me. But, most star athletes are all about this.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so that would be interesting to see.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you, Chanel, for joining us. Thank you, Pop. Thank you guys for listening in. Hit us up with your WNBA hot takes or any takes you have on any other sport. We're here to talk about them. Thank y'all again. Y'all be blessed.
Thanks for having me. Peace, world.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This was great.
Yes, we gotta get you back on again soon. I enjoyed it.